Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Valeri Souchkov, and I'm happy to present at International Business Trees Association Conference in China. I'm very happy that the International Business Trees Association is evolving, and more Chinese people are engaged into its development. My presentation is called Development of a Business System Through S-Curve. Why this topic is important? You know that Altshuler in 1979 presented a book in which he introduced the term S-curve development. And S-curve described a model of evolution of technical systems. In technology, everything is more or less clear. Any technical system performs a certain function. And the principle behind this main function defines its S-curve. So, take an ancient iron. Well, not ancient, maybe the iron which existed 100 years ago. The iron was like an empty box filled with coal, with hot coal. But later, an iron principle of change to generate heat was replaced by electrical coil. So the coal was replaced by the electricity. And a principle has changed, and undoubtedly this was a move to a new S-curve evolution for iron. However, in business, to identify a principle of evolution is much more difficult, as you know. But in business innovation, as well as in technical system, there are transitions to new S-curves. And we are very interested what we can call the transition to a new S-curve. When does it happen? And what is responsible for moving to a new S-curve? In my presentation, I try to give answers to this question. You know that the world of business evolves as a result of interaction of three spirals. It's a voice of the market, which demands more. It a voice of the business, which tries to stay competitive and create winning situations. And as trees revealed, there is a voice of product, which is also does not evolve chaotically, randomly, but evolves systematically. And we know that one of the major postulates of trees is the following. Most artificially created utilitarian systems develop according to universal laws and regularities. In classical trees, Altshuler would write another definition. He said that most technical systems, but when we consider a business system as a product, yes, because when you need to create something, you build a tool for it. Yes, for instance, to cut bread, you build a knife in technology. And business, to deliver a certain service, you build a company. And a company is a tool for delivering any business service. So we can consider a business as a utilitarian system, just like a knife. With knife, you slice your bread. With business system, you deliver your services. The only difference is that in technical system, the acting elements are material components, but in business system, primarily the acting components are people. So, as we know in technical trees, the tools are evolving by following the regularities, by certain regularities. So why not in business systems to assume the same? And evolution of any business system goes through a range of innovations, which keeps the system on the same S-curve, and innovations which move a system to a new S-curve. So like I said, in this presentation, I want to give an overview. What drives a business system, a company for example, to move to a new S-curve? Well, the S-curve development law sounds for business systems similar to technical system. During evolution, a business system tends to evolve by following an S-curve that characterizes the ratio market price time. By the way, in technical trees, it's also sometimes quite unobvious what you to put along the vertical y-axis. On the horizontal axis, it is clear, it is time. But what do you put along the vertical axis? Altshuler believed that it would be one of the major parameters which characterizes the technical system. For instance, if we talk about a car, the major parameters would be speed or a power of its engine. So we're looking at a growth of power which follows an S-curve, or growth of speed which follows an S-curve. But in business system, there are a universal indicator which much better indicates the current state of a business system. It is share price, the current market price of a company. If you look at any business system, it follows 4 stages of evolution. While in technical system, most likely we talk about 3 phases of evolution, and sometimes the fourth stage of evolution. In business system, we are talking about 4 stages of evolution, always. The first stage of evolution is a birth of a system. Second stage is a business growth. Finally, business growth has limits. It is limited by, for instance, market size. It's limited by competitive people who can participate in the company. It's limited by resources which a company can get access to, and so on. So the company takes its place in the market and continues to survive, but without actual growth of any of its parameters. And finally, someone else is taken over, and the business system goes to the 4th stage of evolution, its decline. It is S-curve. You see that the shape of this blue line follows an S-curve. That's why we call it S-curve development law. There are more models of evolution which correlates with this S-curve. If you look at example, for instance, the appearance and growth of a consulting company. The market price is very small at the beginning. Usually this company is formed by a freelancer. Later, a freelancer becomes one-man consultancy. Next, to expand its capabilities and extend its ratio of services, the one man finds partners and they are combined into a consultant partner companies. Next step, they need employees who are not partners, just work for a salary, they are not owning any property in a company, but still work for a company, and so on. When the consulting company, reaches limits, it creates franchises to geographically increase its market. But certainly the market is over, and their service proposal fits the market niche, and there is no more sales. So the consulting company established its franchises, for example, then exists for a while and start to decline. Well, the declining stage is not shown on this picture, but you know from history that most of the biggest companies which existed in the world do not exist anymore because they were dissolved or bankrupted and so forth. However, I mentioned that there are more models of evolution which correlate with this S-curve. They are called innovation priorities. If you look at evolution of different parameters, for instance, level of business innovations. Level of business innovations is the highest at the start of the company. Then it drops. Profitability goes below zero when you have started the company, but then you reach a break-even point and it starts to grow. Market share. Yes, of course, when you started a new company with a new product offering, with a new business model, you most likely occupy the whole market. But later, when you succeed, others look at you and starts following you and create competition. So your market share drops, and so on. So the question is, when you reach the third stage, what should you do? Shall you invest all your money, capital into preserving your business, or think about some future radical changes? It happens when you reach the biggest distance between the market price of your company, of your business, and the costs to bring business to the world. It is a moment when you have to start thinking about new radical changes. How do we do it? What do we use to move to a new S-curve? You know, in TRIS, rather recently, there was a new term introduced, which is called main parameters of value. Main parameters of value characterize business product or technical products produced by companies and the company itself. There are always at least two levels of MPVs, so-called. Do not mess with MVPs, which is minimal viable product. MVP, we are talking about MPVs. And there are two layers. First, aggregated MPVs, which are aggregation of many specific parameters of value, which are measurable. And aggregated MPVs, they are not measurable, but they are very important, and these are parameters on which a consumer or a customer judges when he or she makes a decision to purchase a new product or a new service. Among aggregated MPV, for example, are comfort, usability, safety, friendliness. Well, you see, these parameters you cannot measure. You can just compare two parameters from different business products or technical products, but they are not measurable. In turn, these aggregated MPVs consist of specific PVs, which are measurable, like dimensions, speed, acceleration, power. It's for technical products. But as I already mentioned in the very beginning, that a company is also considered as a system, as a utilitarian system, as a tool. So on one hand, when you want to call the main parameters of value of a car, or an airplane, or a ship, that's more or less clear. But there are also universal measurable parameters of a business, such as sales revenue, such as retention rate, customer acquisition cost, net profit margin, gross profit margin, lead conversion rates, product portfolio, and so on. So these are also measurable parameters, but they might go to aggregated parameters too. Like you can say that company is friendly. Company services provide high comfort, high level of comfort, and so forth. Why not? You can compare two businesses, two business companies, by those aggregated MPVs as well. Well, you know from a theory that we have at least three types of innovations which drive evolution of a system within the same S-curve or outside the same S-curve. First, there are, this is a mistake, there are incremental innovations. Incremental innovations, they are insignificantly rise value of MPVs. So the product is already there, business product or technical product, it has a certain MPV, you insignificantly increase the value of this MPV. This is called incremental innovation. However, behind incremental innovation, there are two radical innovations. One is called breakthrough innovation. A breakthrough innovation, it breaks the barrier which doesn't allow some MPV to move further. It cannot move further because of existing business model, for example. Or, well, maybe we talk about technical system because of principle of action, physical principle of action. So breakthrough innovation significantly rises the value of MPV. And there are another type of innovations. It's called disruptive innovations. These innovations that undermine the market with value propositions with the same level of MPVs, but much cheaper than the previous ones. No, for example, the first computers were big mainframes, which used to cost millions of dollars. They had a certain performance. Later, in the 70s and 80s, the emergence of microchips, of transistors, and so on, helped to create a much cheaper computers with the same performance, but much cheaper, which became affordable to another bigger, much bigger market. That's clear that the product was new, while performance of the product remained the same as before. However, the market was undermined. Let's have a look at the growth of one of parameter of value like a product portfolio. You see that the business model of a shop has been changed. First, there was a one-man selling on the market. How much can he sell? He only used to sell the same stuff that he grows on his farm. It was a product portfolio was very small. A grocery store was built on a bigger business model, on a better business model, and could sell products obtained from different suppliers. Then supermarket was built on another business model, which allowed to sell the product from everywhere from the country. Then we came to hypermarket, which used to sell almost all kinds of products. Then we came to online store. And finally, we go to online marketplace, which sells products from everywhere. Yeah, you look like Amazon.com or AliExpress and so on. They sell thousands and thousands and thousands of product types. But the evolution from one S-curve to another S-curve was a change of a business model. In each of these cases, the evolution happened due to change of business model. So, I define 4 strategies of moving to a new S-curve for business systems. First of all, it's a radically improving company business process by increasing existing MPVs. The ratio of increase is very big. Second, you can do it by creating a new MPV. For example, safety, right? Safety for bank transactions. When depository banks emerged, they started to provide safe savings and safe transactions. Before the depository banks, they were couriers which moved your cash, which could be attacked by criminals in forests and so on, so you know. The third strategy is to create a new product with a new feature, which didn't exist on the market. And this new feature is demanded by super system. And the fourth strategy is to radically cut costs of business process or business product. Again, just like in my example with the computer, the abilities, features of a service, for example, which is business product, remain the same. But the affordability drastically increases. And this is very important. Another example of transition from S-curve by both changing business model and creating new MPVs in new products is shown here. Look at S-jumps for financial services. First, they were like 2,000, 3,000 years ago. They were just human lenders, which could afford giving money to the short debt. Then they moved to another business model. They started to combine several financial partners, which had more money and, of course, could provide large debts and for a longer period of time. Then the depository savings bank were created, which provided both new services, new products, like business transactions. In the past, financial partnership did not do the transactions, but depository savings bank can do transactions. It could do savings, it could do emission of a currency, and what's most important, the depository bank provided was safety. Next was investment bank. Investment bank was built on a totally new product, investment. Yes. Before, the banks only could create money on the growth, on lending. Then now banks could invest. Recently emerged a new type of bank which provides financial services, a package of finances for a company, for a business person, like insurance, asset management, refinancing services, insurance, personalization, and that's all. So when I come to my bank say, oh, don't care about the money. We take all your financial deals with us. And today we observe a new feature, a new set of products, a new set of services, which is based on peer-to-peer fintech. How it will evolve? We don't know. We will see in the future. And the question is, well, you probably know, we can correlate this approach, these four strategies, with already very well-known book of Rene Maubourne and Chan Kim, A Blue Ocean Strategy. So, what to do if the value MPVs no longer increases or starts to fail? We might stay in the red ocean. We will continue to try to survive by completely minimizing cost, optimizing processes, reducing process variability, introducing competitive prices, and that's it. Or we can move to a blue ocean by radically increase the value of MPVs. We can create a new product with new feature, thus achieving competitive advantage and creating a totally uncontested market. Or we can radically cut costs by preserving values of existing MPVs. Well, the goal of my presentation was to present the new four strategies of transition to new S-curve. And you also can use these four strategies to identify if a transition to new S-curve had really happened. It is important to know that you are on S-curve and on which stage of S-curve your business is, because on it depends a future of your business. And how we do it, I will tell you next. Today we conduct a lot of experiments with a system operator, probably you know this, or 9-window model, very well known. But today there are successful stories about predicting the future and predicting transition from one S-curve to another S-curve by using the system operator, where we consider and monitor evolution of supersystem and translate it to the future evolution of a system, business system or technical system, it doesn't matter. Okay, that's what I want to tell you in my presentation. Questions? And otherwise, thank you very much.